Hey everybody, Sean here from BoredParacord. Today we're going to be using two different colors here. We got Candy Cane and Hunter Green, and we need to fuse these together because we're going to be making a Christmas wreath with both of these colors. And let's get started. So what I have here is about 10 feet of Hunter Green and about 8 feet, maybe 7 feet of the Candy Cane. And we're just going to fuse these two together. So the first thing I need to do is melt the ends so that they'll stick to each other. Once they're both melty, then you're just going to place these both together, push them together while it's still hot. Just be very careful you don't burn yourself. And those went together okay. They kind of went together like that, but I think we'll be all right. And you can see I already tried to do this a little bit earlier, and when it's melted like that, we call that lava, and it hit me, and it hurt pretty good, but I'm alright. Alright, so, lots of cord here, so let me get all this cord out of the way. Now what we want to do is we want this green, this Hunter Green, we want all of it to be on the inside of the wreath. So this is the fuse section here, so we're going about 10 inches past the fuse and creating our starting point here. So if you look at this, you can see I have about 9 feet from the middle of Hunter Green, and then we have a foot plus the 6 or 7 feet of the Candy Cane there. And once you have that figured out, this is the length of, this is going to be basically the base of your wreath. So when you fold this over, this is going to be the main shape of your wreath here. And you want to make this long enough so that you have a nice sized wreath. And I think that'll work pretty well. Now, you also want your fused section to be able, you want that to be your starting point. So what I mean by that is you're going to flip these cords over. So now you have basically a right cord and a left cord, and then this is the basic shape of your loop or your wreath here. So that's your wreath. Then you have your two inner strands. This is that loop that we started with, and you have your working ends here. And the way this works, it's real simple. It's just like a cobra, but you do the same thing each time instead of right side, left side. It's always going to be the right side. So we'll start with our right cord, create a loop on the right, like that, and then take your left cord over that one, around the back, and bring it through the loop. Simple as that. And we're going to tighten this up. And I want to try and hide the fused section as much as possible. And one way to do that is just to work this tight and get it into the spot where you want it. And then just make sure everything's nice and tight around it. So right about there is good. So you'll have something like that, and you can see we kind of hid that behind there. Now you're going to create another loop on the right. So you're always going to create a loop on the right and come across the top or across the center strands like this. Left cord over your right, behind the back, and through the loop. And pull it tight. And do that again. Loop on the right, cross over your two center strands. Take it off to the left, cross over, around the back, and bring it through. And as you do this, this is going to start to spiral. And you'll see exactly what I'm talking about as we go. So next one, create that loop on the right, over your two center strands. Left strand over, and then around the back, and pop it up through that loop. Pull it tight. And you can kind of see the spiral happening. It's not too noticeable yet, but it will be. Create the loop on the right. Take that cord to the left. Cross it. Go around the back. through the loop. Super, super easy. Right cord loop over the center, left cord over right, around the back, through, pull it tight. Now you can start to see that spiral we've got going. So you're just going to continue doing this until you get all the way down here, and then I haven't figured out how we're going to finish this yet, so we're going to go on that journey together. So there's that one. Loop on the right. Left cord crosses it. Around the back. Pull her through. There we go. And the reason why I wanted to do the green strands on the inside is because I really wanted this candy cane pattern to show the spiral really well. So as it goes around, you can kind of see a spiral with it. Now if I were to use the candy cane as my center strands in here, you would see some of that, little pieces of it on the inside there, and it would throw that spiral pattern off. There we go. Tight. And we just keep continuing this until you get all the way at the bottom. This is easier than the traditional Cobra because you're doing the exact same thing each and every pass. What was that? I just knocked the pen cap off of the table. So not only are you getting the spiral of the actual physical, but you're getting a visual spiral with the candy cane and the green, which I thought was cool. So I think you have enough here to finish all the way down to the loop. And when we get down to the bottom of this, and we get to this loop, I think what we're going to do is cut this off, or cut here, and then feed that back through itself up here to finish it. But we'll take a look at that in just a moment. Alrighty, so I used a lot less cord than I thought I would. So I would say I cut off about 3 feet of the 10 feet of the hunter green, and I cut off about a foot of the candy cane. But I was also expecting this to be a lot longer. Now, the thing that I came up with is we're going to turn this into a Christmas ornament, which would look like this, minus these pieces here. And this will be the loop that you hang it from. You put a little hook on there and hang it in your tree. Or just has some, like a little ornament anywhere, I guess. What we can do is we're going to take these working ends. Now, I cut these off and I sealed them so I could put a fit on them. We're going to run them through these little humps here at the end. So I have already put my fid through, or attach the fid to the hunter green here. Let me zoom in a little bit here so you can see what we're doing. And we're just going to take this up through this hole here. Very easy. Actually, let me take this off. That hole is not moving, but there is a hole there, so I think I can feed the cord through there without... Yeah, there we go. That worked pretty well. So as you pull that through, the wreath comes together. And then we'll do the same thing with the red through this hole. So I do need to attach a fid. So the fids just screw right on. They're threaded. It's kind of hard to see, but there are threads on the inside. And then the hard paracord, after you melt it, just slides right through. Alright, and then we're going through the other hump at the very, very end, very start of your weave. And without stabbing yourself, just use your fid to get that through there. Just like that. And then we'll go ahead and pull that through. And it's so satisfying to pull this through. And it just kind of stays where you pull it. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this. Oops, just hit my camera again. I'm going to cut the cord that's come through with the fid, and we're just going to cut it real close right there. And I'm kind of holding everything together with my hand, just melting the end. go. And then I'm going to use this. This is a fid-loaded tightening tool, and it gives it a nice little texture there, so you can hardly even see what we did there. And we'll go ahead and do that to this side. So this candy cane portion here, this color candy cane, just get that nice and tight there. Snip that off. And use the torch again to melt that. And I'm just taking the knurled portion of the tightening tool here and rolling it over the melted paracord there. So now we have that. You can see there's that. Alright, now we have, basically it's done. So all I would do now is, put a hook in here and hang this on the tree. And that turned out really nice. Pretty happy with that, with how that turned out. I thought what I was going to do was going to cut these and then use the fid on these two strands here to tie them in here. But the loop at the end really gives me a nice spot to put a hook and onto the tree. So I think what I'm going to do is take a picture of this on my tree at home. And I think that'll be the thumbnail for the picture. We'll see how these turn out. But I hope you like this, and it's getting pretty close to being about a month away, a little less than that. So I thought this would be a good idea, but it turned out really cool. So I hope you like it. Everything that you saw in the video you can get on our website, BoredParacord.com, and I'll put a bunch of the stuff that I used in the description below. So until next time, paracord on. Do me a quick favor and hit that subscribe button to your left. There's other great videos all the time, and there's a few to the right side of the screen, and you can also buy Paracord at our site with the link at the bottom left. Thank you again for watching.